Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Okay, guys, it is Lionsgate, and I know I didn't really tell everybody what I was gonna do, but I wasn't sure if I should or not because I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel. That's been a problem for me recently. Is I want to do something, I plan to do something, but when I go to do that something, it's like nope, we're not gonna do that right now because you don't feel good, or because some thousand other things is in the way of it happening. So I was like, I'm just gonna do it and not say anything. I did mention it last night in the live stream that I did on Instagram that I was gonna do like a Lionsgate little check-in and just guide people through the portal, because I do this every year for the last at least 5 years. I've had something go down. Last year I did a live for the Divine Essentials channel, and everybody came and we did a guided meditation through. And previous years I had done either a guided meditation on the channel, like the Bridget channel, or I would have events where people would come, sit in person, and I would play the singing bowls and do hands-on healing and channel in person. So I've been doing it for a while, and it's basically, if you don't know, it's the Galactic New Year. So it connects to the energies of the Lyrans, and it's also here at the time where we have Leo energy. And right now today we're on 8/8, which is always the Lionsgate, so it's 8/8 Lionsgate. We also have the new moon in Leo, and Leo is the sign with the lion, and the Lyrans are the feline lioness type of beings. So there's a lot of synchronicity, a lot of connection there. It's kind of all just goes hand in hand. And so that energy is what we're working with, and it's very potent, powerful time to reset. It's everything that we just came through for the year is that cycle's over. We're going to move into a new cycle, and this is the time where we want to be setting our intentions, and we want to be thinking about what we're trying to attract, and being in the right vibration and frequency, because how you go into the portal kind of sets up how that year will be for you. Now, that's not to say if you go in and you're miserable and you didn't know it was the portal, maybe you watch this a few days later, it's okay. That energy's here. It's you can go through this meditation, on 8/8 exactly, or you can do it a few days later. You can do it whenever you want. We live in a multi-dimensional type of thing, right? We got all these different dimensions, and we've got all these different energies and frequencies and consciousness and all these things, but we live here in the 3D where we have time and we have restriction and we have all these things that make us feel limited, or I'm late, or I didn't do it right, or blah blah blah, and that is what keeps us stuck in that type of being. It's the more you focus on that, the more you're gonna have that. So if you decide that you want to do this meditation freaking December, January, whatever, you can. And you can tap into the frequency and energy of the Lionsgate at that time by your intention. And energy flows where you just set your intention and that energy will flow. It may not be as powerful, or it may not be something that everybody's doing, but it can be done. It's when we start thinking that things are not available to us, or that only so and so can do it, or it's only when this is happening, that's when we really cause blockages from creating the life, or creating the abundance, the joy, the expansion, that consciousness shifting that we're trying to do. So the Lyrans are very, very powerful manifestors, but the thing with that is it's instant manifestation. So that type of potency is here right now. It's very important for you to not go to those negative thoughts or those negative places, because it's going to be potent, and it's going to be instant, and it's going to get compounded on top of each other. So if you don't want to be miserable, try not to go to misery. And if you are miserable, pull yourself out of it. Do something that's going to help you. What do you do when you're not in a good mood? Sometimes just going outside can shift the energy, or taking a shower with that intention. I'm going to go wash this off. Or go for a ride and listen to some music that makes you happy. Put something on, that makes you laugh. You could watch something that makes you laugh. Pets are good. Unconditional love, little buttons. And, you know, just be patient and calm and forgive yourself too. Like, people who always say, I'm so stupid. Ugh. Don't do that. Like, that's not going to help. That's just going to make things kind of worse. So, right now, no matter what's going on, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, just try to be like, I'm going to have a good year, you know? I'm going to manifest what I want. And it was funny because I've been struggling, obviously, with the Lyme stuff. And there's a lot of layers to it that people don't know. Like, I had no clue until having it. But, you know, there's some people who get it and they get medicine and they're like, here's your antibiotics, and they boom, good. They're all done. They don't have to worry. But then there's other people who, you know, there's a good majority of them, like 30% of the people, they get the medicine and it doesn't work. And they still continue to have symptoms. And sometimes they still continue to have symptoms, but when they take the test says, oh, you're fine. But the test isn't right. And also because it's not always just Lyme. Like, the little things have multiple things that they can give to you. So a lot of people end up, they have Lyme, but they also have this like Bora Bora, like some name that starts with B. And so it's like these, like, you know, two totally different things. And the things that they are, these like little beings inside of you, these like little metal robots is what I see in my mind, like these little spiders. They call them sprockets. And they have an ability to create like a biofilm, or they create like a barrier, basically, that the medicine can't get to them. Like, they're safe, they're good, they're using you as they're like, woohoo, we're like all set, we got our food, we got our this, we got that, and they cause havoc. And they go to your brain, so they make your like neurological stuff messed up. Like, I have a hard time finding my words, I have a hard time remembering things, I have a hard time focusing on things, I don't go to bed. Like, I'm just like, I don't go to bed. And then I'm like, and I like die for a few days because it's like, I can't, like, nothing's normal. And it's like, and like the neurological stuff, like I get like these weird shooting pains through my body. Like, I'll just be standing here and it's like, and then I'm like, like in my foot or somewhere. Or then my skin just starts getting wicked itchy or wicked hot. I get like swollen ankles and just all these crazy things. And it's been kind of difficult, but I've been wanting to get help. And it's not like, it's for some reason, like the people out there, they like don't believe that there's like this big problem. It's like, there's a big problem. I can attest to it. Like, I don't know why they're causing this like separation, but they are. And some people know and get it and understand it, but not a lot of people do. So when I've looked into places of like, you know, I want to get help from a doctor, I read and I can tell, like, they don't know. They know a little bit, but they don't know enough. Or they are doing this, but it's not what I want to do. Because one of the things is that when you treat it, like these things that are left over, some of the treatments attack them, but because they're like toxic, not good, like bleh, when they attack them, they release all that stuff into you and you have a herxema reaction. So you start getting really bad, like 10 times worse than you already feel. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I really don't. Just even taking the antibiotics was really, really like torturous for me. I was like nauseous every day. Like, I just couldn't move sometimes. And that was just the antibiotics. Like, I don't want to go through the crazy stuff. But I was having a hard time finding, you know, anybody out there other than like, we're in like, you know, another part of the country and it's like $20,000 and blah, 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 blah. And I couldn't find anybody or, you know, get the answers that I was looking for. But last night, for whatever reason, there's a place that's like probably 20 minutes from me, and they have laser therapy, and they do like a 9-month program, and they get the things inside of you, but they do it in a way that doesn't cause the herxema. They like, I don't know what they do. They get rid of that biofilm and they get them out, and they don't mess you up in the process of it. It's $9,000, which is, but hey, like, if I don't do something, I'm gonna lose everything because I can't function at the, like, the rate, you know? Like, I used to be able to do channels, like, I had YouTube over here and YouTube over here and Instagram and this and that and now it's like if I get one post out a week, I'm like, oh my god, that was so hard. Like, I just can't function like I want. So I need to do it. But I obviously, like right now is a good time to be manifesting, because that was a very specific thing that, like, I have not been able to find. People are out there doing all these crazy things, like oxygen therapy or this therapy or that therapy. They're going in saunas and they're drinking their juices and, like, you know, doing all this stuff and still suffering, still struggling and crying and bawling their eyes out, like, daily. And I've been going crazy and I'm like, oh my god. The people that they interviewed in the little videos were like 90% better, 80% better. Like, I feel great. You know, the people who are like not all the way better is because they have other conditions that aren't connected to that. So it's like, we can't fix that, but we can fix this. And that's all I want, is to fix this. And so I think it was perfect for it to manifest on Lionsgate, that I would be able to find not only a place that's going to help, but a place that is going to do it without making things worse, because that was my biggest fear. And it was like I was going to probably procrastinate on that for a long time before going in and, like, facing that type of pain, because it's really, really painful. But yeah, that's what you want to be using this energy for, is to, like, what is it that you want to do? Like, what do you want to accomplish? Like, you have something big like this going on in your life that's causing a block, or, you know, potentially going to take away from you, or, you know, deter you from your, like, what you're supposed to be doing, messing with your life. It could even just be like a relationship. Like, some people I know, they stay married even though they don't love the person they're with, and they're like, but, and they come up with all these excuses. And they may think, oh, it's easier for me to stay here than it is for me to do this, and go through that uncomfortable process of saying that, and and I don't want them to be mad at me, and I don't want to go through this process of, like, a nasty divorce, or whatever the thing is in your brain that you are afraid of happening. Or even some people are like, I'm afraid that if I leave my husband, my person that I want to be with isn't going to want to be with me, and then I left my person for no reason, which I want people to believe. Like, think about that. If that's the case, it shouldn't matter, because obviously the person you're with isn't fulfilling you. So you don't want to stay with them just out of the fact that the other person doesn't want you, because that's codependency. So we want to heal things like that. But it would be a good time to be thinking of a thing of, like, all right, like, whatever that fear is, like, I'm afraid it's going to be a really bad divorce. See, like, they're going to take me for all I have. It doesn't have to be that way. Like, you can even manifest it that they come to you and are like, I want a divorce, or I'm sleeping with someone else. It doesn't have to be that you are the one that, like, initiates it. It doesn't have to be the big scary thing that you're making it out to be. But because you're in that limited perspective of, like, this is the circumstances, and I'm only going to see it from this limited perspective, it's gonna, like, that's what you stay within. But right now is the opportunity to be inspired and be like, oh, like, I don't even have to be the one to break up. Like, they can break up with me at any moment. They could just all of a sudden decide, hey, I don't like you. Get out. So we have approach logic creatively and calm the raging sea. So divine inspiration comes in an instant and was created to last beyond the infinite. So these inspirational ideas that we have that come in right now, that sun energy, the Leo energy, the Lyran energy, is going to be able to give us that confidence, that power, that strength, that, like, oh my God, like, this is going to be great, this is going to be good, this is going to be the thing that I needed, or the thing that I want, or whatever. It's just like a whole way of, like, oh, I didn't see that before, but now I do, yay. So action, confident, passion, ego, masculine ambition, stamina, pride, identity, individuality, royalty, higher positions, good health, wellness, and vitality. So this is the energy that we're bringing in at this time, and we're illuminating. You know, the sun within the tarot is like the bright card. It's like, I got an idea, I'm inspired, I've got that aha moment, and I'm balancing my energies, because you know, like, the masculine is very logical and the feminine is a little bit creative. So they're saying to use both of those, you know, approach logic creatively. Like, logically, I don't want to be with this person because being with this person is keeping me from ever pursuing something with that person. But I don't want to be the one that's the asshole, you know, or I don't want to be like the one that has to say it. So I'm going to get creative, and maybe I'm going to make it so that they don't want to be with me anymore. It's just being like a horrible person. I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but like, there's other ways that we can kind of like be like, I'm going to get out of this situation. And we also have, do you not see you are already free? So whatever you feel stuck within, whatever you feel is like, I can't, like, I'm never going to, you know, and that's so easy for us to do, is to feel like I'm a victim and this is how it's going to be for the rest of my life, and it's just, I'm screwed, and that's what we do. But they're also saying tomorrow is another day. Try again a different way, okay? So whatever you've been up to, whatever you've been doing, whatever you've been approaching your life with or your circumstances with, whatever thing you got going on that you're not necessarily vibing with or feeling like, yeah, this is awesome, you can approach it in a different energy. And they say it's time for change. It won't be strange, you know. And even in saying that too, that can kind of tie into that thing of like, I knew I wanted to change. I knew I wanted help. I knew I wanted to do something with what's going on, but I didn't want to go through something that was going to be worse. You know, I didn't want to make it like 10 times harder on myself. So, you know, now I know it's not going to be strange. It's going to be nice. It's going to be like, oh my God, I'm getting better and I feel good. And I'm not going to be like, nah. It's like, I don't want to do that. So we want to be very, you know, open to these divine energies and these experiences that can come to us. And we also have what is true and who is real. And it says, sleep, dreams will reveal. So there could be some dreaming that you need to do at this time, or astral traveling that you want to do at this time. It's going to help you to get inspired, or to figure something out, or to kind of like place together something that you've been having a hard time figuring out or seeing clearly. And we also have Illumination Stagnation, which says, clarity will shine upon you again. Open your eyes and smile with new friends. So it's like, it may be time for new people in our lives. Like if you've been in a situation or circumstances with, it could be romantic, or it could be friends, it could be family, whatever. If it's just not serving you anymore, it's not serving you anymore. You don't want to stay in places or with situations that don't serve you, because it's just not fun, you know? So there could be new people that you want to get like connected to, because just in doing that, or going somewhere that you've never been, like I really want to do yoga, but I don't have anybody to go with. My friends won't go with me. Well, if you really want to do yoga and none of the people that you're like hanging out with are into that, that's a clear indication that you've changed. You know, like, you know, maybe your interests are elsewhere now, so your frequency is probably elsewhere now. And when you are forcing yourself to like dim that down and stay in that vibration with those people who are not serving it, it's like it's cutting you off. And I'm not saying just like cut them out and never talk to them again, but find new people who feed you, that like serve you, that are like, here's a battery, and feels good to be around. But you're going to have to go somewhere by yourself probably the first few times to meet them, you know? So by going out and connecting with these new people, these new places, these new experiences, you'll get illuminated with that inspiration. You'll come out of the stagnation of, I can't really like get any like good ideas, or I feel shitty, or I'm so unhappy. You know, this will help you to kind of break out of that. And then we have geometric, look for the pattern. So you may have a pattern that you've been doing over and over and over, and it could be every year, and you may not notice it because you're living it. Like I was saying, like sometimes we do that. We're like, I'm in this relationship and XYZ, and I believe XYZ, and I see XYZ, and XYZ ain't even happening, but I just think that that's what's going to happen if I say this or if I do that. But I don't have any proof of that, and I don't have anybody to like, you know, confirm it or deny it for me, because then I would have to say something to this person. But it's like, wait, no, like, is that a pattern that, like, you're, like, letting yourself stay stuck within, out of that limited belief of, if I do this, it's going to end up this way, without having any reason or supportive evidence to say that that's what's going to happen, you know? So try to get out of that energy of those patterns that we have. And that's just like an example. Like, this could be anything. This could be, you know, every day I say I'm going to do this, or every night I, you know, plan to do blah, blah, blah. And then when the next day comes around, instead of doing that blah, 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 I have this pattern of self-sabotage, of, you know, doing this instead, or forgetting conveniently that I was supposed to, like, start my diet, or I was supposed to call so-and-so, or do whatever. It's like, we are our worst enemies, you know. And then we had deep wounds, clearing emotional block, elixirs, and crystals. So there could be some emotional blocks that you've got going on, which again needs to change. And it could be what's causing you to stay in a cycle that's like, hey, tomorrow's another day, try a different way, because what you're doing ain't working. Like, do you not see you're already free? Like, come on, get a little creative. Woohoo, here's your light bulb moment. We're trying to get to you and illuminate so you can change the situation that you don't want to be in. So basically, I feel like whatever, you know, is going on, there's maybe a wound connected to it. And that could be from childhood, that could be from past lives, that could be from, you know, traumatic relationships, friends, family, lovers, whatever, wherever, whoever. Something may have happened that's caused a deep wound. This could even always go back to, like, Atlantis or the Galactic War or whatever. So you want to figure out, like, where is this coming from? Because it's going to be different for everybody. And then how am I going to navigate that? Like, how am I going to approach this differently so that I don't keep creating this shitty experience that I'm living in? And we had, please never stop working on yourself with the motivation. So it's like, we got to get motivated to work on us. Sometimes we don't do that because it's like, it's us. It's like, for some reason, we're like, but I'll do this for everybody else, and I'll do this for, like, people please. That's a sign of, you know, trauma and stuff too, is like when we people please, or we put other people ahead of us, is like, that's not healthy. That indicates some deep wounds as well. And you can get deep wounds from, like, it doesn't have to be like a massive thing. You know, I read the other day that, like, kids can be, like, scarred from just having a parent that's very focused on their looks. And I know, like, when I was growing up, my mother was always like, like, she wouldn't go out without makeup on and stuff. And it definitely impacted me for a while. Like, I was like that. Now I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm in my pajamas all the time. I don't necessarily want to go, like, record a video like that, but that's my career, you know. It's like, try to show up responsible and, like, professional. But, like, if I'm going to the store, I have no problem going in my pajamas and, you know, I'm running makeup, like, no makeup, whatever. And my sister is very bad about it. Like, she will, like, cry if you ask her to go into the store or to do something when she's not ready. And I think that's because of how our mother was. So, you know, it could be something simple like that. It doesn't have to be a big monster thing. Like, you didn't have to be beaten to death or, you know, killed in another life. But it could be something simple like that. And I do feel for some of you, it definitely could be connected to moms. It was really weird because you know, I was pulling cards here. And then when I got to the end, I have cards right here. And it was like, I split the deck and I got, what did I get here? Which one was it the first? I think it was these two that came out first. So it was Earth and Earth. Because in this deck, I have the color planets that come with it, like, automatically. But then there's the option to add another 12 planets that match, like, the theme of the deck. This was like, I'm going to make a deck that looks like this. And then when I got to the planets, I was like, oh, I didn't like Mars. I wasn't crazy about Venus. Just there's something about the look of them. I wasn't like, it just didn't jump out at me. So when I found other planets that are a little bit nicer, I was like, oh. And then I ended up making them, but I also have that OCD thing where it's like, but it doesn't match. What if somebody wants it to match? So this is what comes with it, but people can add the others if they want to get the others so that they have a whole deck that matches. But anyways, these both came out. So I've added both into my deck to give me confirmation. That's not the only place. We had Venus come out twice as well. So it's kind of cool to see, like, oh, confirmation that Venus really wants to come out. Confirmation Earth wants to come out. But Earth is the divine feminine energy. It's Gaia. It's Pachamama. It's, you know, the mother. Like, she holds us in her womb. You know, she nurtures us. Without her, we wouldn't have much, right? And that's like the spirit of the earth. But then we also had the moon. And the moon is, again, connected to divine feminine. And we have, you know, the feminine mystery, the reception, the intuition, the nurture, care, feelings, emotions, memories, reactions, instincts, expression, feminine, okay? But not only that, we have Divine Mother. And it says, allow the divine to nurture, and nature leads when you surrender, okay? So I feel like some of you might need to get connected into, you know, going outside into nature, connected with the water. The water is very emotional, and it's very feminine. It's very fluid. It, like, you know, washes away the stuff that's, like, not serving us. And it helps us to cleanse our soul and to cleanse our emotions and to clear the deep wounds, you know? So I definitely feel like some people could have some deep wounds from their moms, or from, you know, just being a feminine on the planet. And you could be a man and still have a wounded feminine energy, because it's just how we are. This planet has been predominantly in a masculine vibration and energy for a long time. But I think things are starting to shift, you know, and that may be calling us to pay attention to this divine feminine essence that's like boom, 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 boom. And then again, Venus is feminine energy. Like, if men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Like, there's a lot of feminine stuff here. So, you know, approaching logic creatively, like, it's not only just, you know, tapping into the feminine, honoring it, and, like, recognizing it or understanding, like, this may be something that's connected to these deep wounds, but it's part of that dualistic part of our experience here, okay? And this says dualistic divination, balance between the creator and the receptor. So the masculine is like the one that pursues and provides, protects. He goes out and he, you know, creates in a way where it's like boom, 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 like he does that. The feminine is more so, I'm going to create by receiving and being receptive and nurturing and fluid and allowing, and I'm just going to like go with the flow, and I'm going to be like all willy woody, you know. And that's, we want to have a balance of those two things. That we want to be able to approach logic creatively. We want to be able to approach our emotions stably. We want to be able to have like one foot on solid ground and one foot, you know, within our emotions, so that we're balanced. Because if you're too much one way, you shut yourself off and you're like numb, you know, and you disconnect, and you don't get to enjoy things as much as you would maybe if you had allowed yourself to feel, or to honor your feelings, or to just acknowledge your feelings. But then again, some people go too far into that, and they get a little too crazy or a little too emotional. So we don't want to go all the way to that extreme either. We want to be balanced within our creation and our, you know, receiving. And this is going to help you with manifesting. So, you know, if you are like, I really want to get this, blah, 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 you can't just sit around and do nothing about it. Like, and that's, I think people get lost with that, with the power of attraction too, because they're like, if I just think about it, it's going to come. No, like, if you sit on your ass on your couch, nothing's going to happen. Like, you can think about it all you want, but it's maybe if you're very strong, very powerful, very high vibrational, something will knock on your door and bring you what it is you want. It's probably going to be dependent upon what it is you want. Like, is it a pizza, or is it like a big life change that's good and healthy and woo? So think about that, you know, and what are the action steps that I should be taking to get me closer to what it is that I want to manifest. And then also not going to the extreme of like, I'm going to just bust my ass and go so hard for it that I cause resistance to it. Because that's, again, being too much in the masculine energy. If you're never allowing, if you're never giving space or that motion for it to come to you, to receive it, then it's like you just are chasing after it and never achieving it. you know, or you'll like continuously like step it up. Like, I just want to get to that 10,000. I just want to get to that 20,000. I just want to get to that 50,000. I just want to get to that 100,000. And it's like, you're never going to be where you want to be, you know? And I've seen people do that where they just like, just keep going and going and going. Like, they're not satisfied with what they've got. And if you're never satisfied with what you have, and you're not grateful for what you have, it blocks you from receiving more as well. So again, trying to balance out that dualistic energy here is going to help us in regards to a lot of things. And then with the Venus, it says beauty, love, luxury, desire, devotion, mystery, reception, relaxation, money, value, charisma, charm, experience, harmony, sentiments, value, taste, pleasure, artistic inclinations, and happiness. So I think right now would be a good time for people, like, you may be getting inspired, okay? Like, we may have some inspiration coming in right now that you want to get creative and, you know, artistic, or you feel like, I need to do something differently. Like, you don't have to go paint or draw or whatever, but it could be a way of thinking needs to embrace that creative element of, like, I'm going to create this thing and it's going to be different. So try to be open to that. And even if you're somebody that's like, I'm not creative, or I can't do this, I can't do that, I'm not good at it, you probably aren't that bad at it. But if you keep affirming that you're bad at it, that's what you're going to see. That's what you're going to attract. That's what you're going to know. So don't do that to yourself. When I went through my awakening, I was able to do things much better than I was able to do them before. Like, I always kind of like, you know, dabbled around with drawing and stuff. But after my awakening, it was like I was doing like these realistic flowers of like I don't know, just all different types of stuff. Like, and they looked real. Like, I was like, oh my god, it like really looks real. And like the first picture I ever drew of a girl, like her like portrait, that I was like okay with, that didn't want to like throw it away, was after my awakening. So it's like they will bring you the energy. You don't have to be responsible for it. You just, like, you want to be responsible for it, but you don't have to be like putting it on your shoulders of like, I can't, or I'm not good enough, or I won't be able to, because you don't have to. Spirit will flow through you. You are connected to energies, you're connected to frequencies, you are a divine channel, you are a divine being. You have the ability to connect and receive and create with those energies. But you have to trust it and believe it and allow it, and, you know, not doubt it and sabotage it, you know. Tap back into your innocence. So this, again, drawing, creating, singing, dancing, those are all great tools for connecting with the inner child. And again, I feel like people may have stuff all the way back to their childhood that they need to heal, you know, and getting outside and playing in nature. Just go garden. That's creative. If you have a garden, if you plant flowers, if you do anything like that, that's creative energy. So use that to your, you know, advantage and get out there and start doing stuff. And then we have impeccability. So again, says mind like an ocean. The cards, some of the cards are weird, like the words that they have on them, but basically, you know, be impeccable with your words, be impeccable with your thoughts, be impeccable with what you're going to do. This one says night school. So some of you may be like, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. Blah, 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 blah. There's always time. You don't have to go to like a big college or anything like that. There's freaking classes and courses and things for everything you could imagine available right now in this moment. And it's like, it doesn't need, like, there's free stuff available too. People are out there and resources are available, but we've got to trust that it's available and allow it to be available. And with the earth energy, it basically is like consistent, Gaia, Pachamama, stable, grounded, dependable, solid, strength, stubborn, power, structure, enduring, capable, long-lasting, nurture, providing, and, you know, like sensible, unwavering. So we want to use that energy too to, like, you know, get through the process. So it's like we want to set the intentions of what we're wanting and like getting clear with ourselves about what we want, you know, allowing that divine inspiration to come in, trusting like the balancing of the masculine and the feminine so that I can go pursue things and I can receive them, but I'm also going to like be persistent within my journey there. Because if you're not, like, if you just like half-ass it, or you don't ground that energy or that like thought or that vibration, it's not gonna be there. It's like it's just gonna be like it's gonna go away. So like right here it says grounded divine partnership energy of creation. You need to ground this energy of the feminine and the masculine in union within yourself. You don't need them. You don't need somebody else for this. You need to integrate your energies within you. You're feminine, you're masculine, you're pursuer, you're protector, you're provider, you're nurturer, you're receiving, receptive, divine feminine essence, which again, we had divine mother, and now we've got divine feminine, which is about receiving, being receptive, nurturing, and just like allowing like that energy, but for yourself first too. You don't want to be like, I'm going to nurture everybody else. You want to nurture you so that you can nurture other people and not like deplete yourself completely. And as you do this, as you start to balance these things out, and as you start to ground this energy into your reality, and you are doing like the appropriate balance of the two, you're going to shift things, you're going to change things, and then your two partnerships, your twin flames, your divine counterparts, your people, the one that you may have an awakening partnership with, the one that you could be manifesting thoughts in connection with, the one that there's going to be a progression of love between the two of you, will be back just like that. But if you're sitting around impatient, which this card says impatience, they're not going to be back just like that. You're going to block it. It says the one you miss will come for a kiss, nostalgic. But you've got to let them be nostalgic too. Like, and I think some people don't always allow that time or that space for that to happen. Like, if you're constantly available to somebody, they don't get to miss you. So if you're, having a hard time with like separating from somebody, or you feel like I just want them back, give them the time to miss you. So many people, and even the feminines that are like, oh, I'm not chasing anymore, blah, 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 I haven't talked to them, or I haven't said anything, or blah, 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 but they're always thinking about doing it. Like you catch them like, oh, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna say something, or I think I should, or maybe I should, like that right there, going back and forth. If you're not sure in yourself, and you're like, maybe I will, maybe I won't, it doesn't matter what you say, what you do or don't do, because your energy is already doing it. Your energy is already thinking about going and doing something to take action, which is the masculine vibration of pursuing and doing, and not allowing and receiving and receptive. And if that's all you've been showing up as, and that vibration hasn't been working this far, you want to be the one that's like, oh, wait a minute, tomorrow's another day, let me try a different way. I haven't ever allowed them to come to me. I haven't ever given it enough time for that to happen. I always end up going to them, or I always end up thinking about going to them, because it doesn't matter if you go to them or not. If you're thinking about it, you're already there. Your energy's already there, all over them, like blah, 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 so they ain't coming. You gotta pull that off and stick it to your freaking self and just let it be there and stop. Just stop thinking. Stop reaching with your energy. Stop. People like want things because they're like, oh, but it's been like 6 months, or it's been a year, or it's been this, or been that. It doesn't matter how long it's been, but if in that time that it's been however long, you've been in that vibration of like, maybe this or maybe that, like you just haven't allowed consistently for them to just be, and for you to go focus on you and do what you got to do, that like you might as well just reset it each time that you're thinking these things or feeling these things or not allowing these things to manifest appropriately the way that you've intended to begin with. You're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, right, and I'm not gonna do this, and I'm gonna have this healthy boundary, or I'm gonna respect myself this way, and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, blah blah blah, blah. But then you don't do that, or you don't follow through with like that belief, which is very important. We need to believe in ourselves, and that we want to have a healthy, balanced union, and that we want to receive from people. We don't want to be the one that's constantly, going out and doing something, or pursuing, or trying to get something to go. If something's not going, there's a reason, and we gotta accept it and not try to do anything about it. And the more that you're in that flow of I accept and I let go and I'm okay with whatever's happening, that's when the shit changes, and that's when the people show up. That's when they start getting interested in what you're doing and where you are at. But you don't give that space or that energy, their time, then it doesn't ever happen like that. It's like it just keeps getting put out and put out and put out. But this could be in any area. This could be with your money. This could be with your career. This could be your purpose. People get so weird about certain things because of the belief of, you know, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I'm like, I'm a star seed and I know I've got a divine purpose and I know I'm supposed to be doing something, blah, 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 blah. And they put it up on like this pedestal way out of reach, or they think it's like some magical, crazy thing, or that it has to be some big grand scale. And it's like, no, like just being here is part of your purpose, to be here and to do the work on yourself and to heal and to grow and to get rid of the beliefs that are blocking you and to get rid of the limitations and the energies and the frequencies that are not serving or supporting your situations and what's going on. And if you're separated from the thing that you're wanting, or the person that you're wanting, or the situation that you would like to have, or the abundance that you would like to be within, or the, you know, whatever it is, if there's something that's not there that you know you want, that's a clear indication that, okay, there's still work to be done. Instead of like projecting out and like, I'm not going to do this, or I don't need to do that, or blah, 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 I've already done it. No, you didn't. Because if you did, it wouldn't be a problem. You would be where you need to be. So we want to be responsible for ourselves too, impeccable with our words and impeccable with our actions, and like, hey, you know what? I'm a human and I've had a life here on this planet that wasn't always necessarily tra-la-la, and because of that, and because of how the people are on the planet, and because of how my belief system is and how I tend to be sometimes, I got some stuff to do. I need to work on my belief system. I need to work on retrieving the parts of myself that I've lost in other lives, or the parts of myself that, you know, are so willing to like bend over backwards or give or pursue and do all this work instead of allowing or receiving or even like just believing that it will come. You know, like if you believe that somebody is your divine counterpart, or you believe that you have a divine purpose, believe that it will come, and it will. But if you are like so doubtful that like they might not come, I gotta go to them because they're not gonna come, I gotta go fill that space up, you're not trusting, you're not allowing, you're like blocking, you're like, I don't really believe in that, or I don't deserve that, I'm not worthy of that, so I gotta go do this because I'm different. You're like, there's some reason about me that whatever, and it's just a false belief. It's just bullshit stories that we tell ourselves. We manipulate whatever's happening around us so that we can do what we want to do and mess things up, and then, you know, later on be like, what the hell, why did I, what, and start from scratch. So try to be aware of those things, like where are you doing that type of stuff to yourself, how are you doing that to yourself, and it could be in anything, you know. And with the moon energy, it's like tapping into the unknown, the unseen. This is like the mystery, you know, the shadow. Shadow work is very powerful work to do. If you haven't done shadow work, like, you can't sit down and say like, hey, you know what, like I did like a month of shadow work where it was like, and it doesn't mean every day, all day long, that's all you do, but you've got to have something set in your life where it's like, I did some work. And if you don't know healing, you know, like if you didn't like learn from anybody, yeah, should like get a book, or, you know, do something to teach yourself the practices that are actually going to amount to something. Because just sitting around or listening to some weird random like YouTube video, because you don't know, anybody out there can make a YouTube video and they could say shadow work on it, but it may not do much for you, or it may not be the right person for you to connect with, or it may have something in it that's just going to make things worse. You want to be, you know, connecting with the right vibrations, trusting your intuition to be guiding you to the right things, but not just like willy-nilly, like settling or taking the first thing that you see, or think, okay, I did that one meditation, I'm done. Like, that's not how this works. We really need to become self-aware and of all the things that we've got going on inside of us, so that we can heal those things and shift those things and get rid of these belief systems that are really causing an issue. This one says point between reality. So it's like, we've got reality, And then we've got like the point between that reality and us that like we believe. And that's not true. Most of the things that we think or feel or like afraid of, or you know, oh, what if I don't do this, this is gonna happen, or I know this or that. It's usually coming out of a place of our ego, of our fear, of our doubt, our insecurities, you know, wounding from people that abused us, or just societal conditioning that we've had to face. So we want to be able to, you know, get clear with that stuff and figure that out. You know, go into the shadowy unknown with introspection and look within us for our answers. And this says Lost Valley of the Pegasus. So it's like all that magical, you know, like otherworldly stuff that you need to know the answers for is within you, but you've got to go within and trust it. And you know, trust that you are part of one. There's a oneness here. We're all like, on the grand scale, it's just one big huge thing that's existing, and it's like all interconnected. You know, even the galaxies out there are interconnected on this like high speed highway of frequency and energy, and we're all like, we all have those energies between us. Like everybody's connected. It's like a big web of it's like, so when you're doing something, somebody else is doing something, it's like we all impact each other, but we also need to like go within to the one of ourselves to help us to navigate through and understand things about us that we may have, you know, overseen or not really, you know, gave ourselves that opportunity to do before. We have honor here too. So it's like you want to honor yourself, honor your soul, honor the sacredness of you to take the time out to do this work and to be like giving it the attention and the frequency, like the what it deserves, you know, like I'm just gonna, you know, dismiss the fact that I've got this wound, or that I should be doing this or should be doing that, and I'm just gonna kind of go take the easy route out. You have a sacred divine role here, or divine purpose that you're, you know, got up on that pedestal. Then honor it and do the work. And with Blossom and Bloom, it says you're about to come into a season of expansion. So it's like the prosperity is available to us. This one says Atlantean Priestess. So again, you may have been here in Atlantis. That could be where a lot of your shit comes from. If you were in Atlantis, there was a big struggle for power. There was a big imbalance at one point where people, you know, got hungry for power and greed, and they messed things up, and they blew the place up, and it was big bad stuff happening. But if you were there and you did all that, and you weren't honorable, and you weren't in your divine integrity, you weren't impeccable with your word, you know, that stuff carries over. So you, again, might want to get creative in how you're going to figure those things out. You don't have to be like some psychic, you know, like wicked, like I know all the things of the universe to get these answers. You just have to like ask yourself the right questions, or go into the right session with somebody to help you. There's people out there that will do private session for that type of stuff. Like you could do like a past life regression, or you could, you know, come up with some journaling prompts or whatever. Like I'm going to be having more stuff come like that. Like I'll be having more things available for people to do deeper work. But there's stuff out there already. Like if you have that desire and you put that out there, especially right now, I guarantee you something will present itself to you. It will be like, oh, here you go. Here's that thing that you need. You know, it's like it's available to us, but we have to trust it, and we have to keep working on ourselves so that we can have it. And look, 888, strength, abundance, infinite connection. So you also have an infinite connection to all that there is, and the infinite, you know, expansion that's available to us in every moment. But I really do feel that people are going to be having an upgrade. It says expect an upgrade within the decade. That doesn't mean 10 years from now. That means within the decade, which starts now, okay? So a decade ain't even that long. I'm like, when I think back 10 years, I'm like, oh my God, it's already been 10 years. Like, but a lot of expansion happened in that 10 years. A lot of change happened in that time. I've received a lot of light codes, a lot of starseed energies, awakened love inside of myself, you know, awakened things within divine connections, and, you know, just all types of stuff going on. And we also have protection. So know that you are divinely protected as you are navigating these things. Try not to freak yourself out, and trust that you have the strength to do what you need to do to get through. and to reconcile with your past, and to surrender into your new chapter. So many people just like, they get like stuck in the chapter that they're in because they're sitting there counting those minutes and add digits to it. They're too impatient, or they're too like, I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do that. Like, they just can't allow for things to come to them. So it's like, it's time for a break. How are you even awake? How are you even, still going? It's like, you got to take a break and let things come to you. And this will be the year that it is all clear. This will be the year that you figure it out, that you get to reconcile with the things that need to be reconciled. And beginnings and endings are one and the same, another card of oneness. So it's like, as one season ends, or as one cycle comes to a close, or as one belief system, that you had gets like cleared up, a new one opens up for you to go into. And we're never done healing, we're never done growing, we're never done evolving, but we need to, go through those processes. And you have the ascended masters with you, working with you to assist you in your transformation process. So 333 for me is like all about like the Saint Germain, the violet flame, and transmutation and all of that. So pay attention to the numbers that you're seeing and call on these peeps to help you, like to transmute what's not serving you, who's not serving you, the thoughts that are blocking you, the ideas that you have that you really shouldn't be having. You've got to shift your focus. If you've got ego pursuits or a financial focus on something, that's not coming from a place of like divine, soul-led type purpose or service for others. It's okay to want prosperity, and it's okay to want to be abundant and all of that, and to attract that to you, but you can't, you can, but you shouldn't be going out and only doing things for the sole purpose of money, or like get really super focused on that, because then you block yourself from it. The more you focus on these things that you want, that you don't have, that you're like weird about, the less of it you'll see. And there's also unconditional love. So we want to tap into that. Unconditional love, just loves. There's doesn't need a reason. It doesn't need a price tag. It doesn't need, anything other than that loyalty. It's like, it's just loyal. It's just loyal to love. And it doesn't matter what somebody did or didn't do, or what they said or what they didn't say, or when they came or when they didn't come. It doesn't matter, because it's unconditional love. And if that's your truth, if you truly love somebody unconditionally, you'll respect them and let them be who they want to be in the moment. And when they're ready, when they have that resource to give to you, to be in a partnership, to fulfill the contract, they'll come to you, and you will have your forgiveness. You'll have, the releasing of the pattern of maybe them coming and going, or you having to be the one that was always like doing something that was causing an issue within the communication in the relationship. But, if you use your intelligence, get a little bit logical, the way that you're going to communicate, you can shake up the monotony, shake up the bullshit that's been happening over and over and over in your situations. And look at that. Clear the karma. Clear out the energies that are no longer serving your situation. And do the hard work to restructure and get disciplined about what you're doing, how you're organizing your boundaries, your commitments. How are you going to materialize and go? But it's like a slow pace there. It's not going to happen overnight. This is like dedicated to this is dedicated to the divine, dedicated to the mission, dedicated to getting to where you're supposed to go, and not being in like a wicked, like, oh, I got to get there right now. Chaos or creation says how you choose to live will be what you get to see, divine and aligned or chaotic state of mind. So you're the one that gets to make that decision. And if you come from that Capricorn energy, which is connected to Saturn, you'll be disciplined, ambitious, and persistent. But you won't be like weird about it. You just let it come. Out of the fact that you've been doing what you're supposed to be doing. Harmonized, balance, and like diplomatic about it. You're not being like over the top with those things. And you can still be caring and compassionate and like nurturing and all of that. And have compassion for yourself and your situation, whoever you're connected to, but not be, so overly emotional or like allowing it to cause havoc in your situation. And then, cycles of creation and destruction leading to destined divinity. So things have to be destroyed and created in order for you to get to where you're going. And sometimes it's going to be like, yay, that was a good thing to destroy, or yay, I'm glad we got to create that. And sometimes it's not going to be, and sometimes it's going to suck. But there's a reason for everything. Everything has a purpose. Everything has an origin story, and every story has pieces that lead back to tomorrow. No matter how far you go, there you will be. So it's like, no matter what you do, no matter where you go, you're going to be there with you. You're going to be answering to your soul, you know? So you might as well kind of like get comfortable with that and get to a place where it's like, you know, like okay with the circumstances around you, and you're okay with the destruction, because you know that if it's destructed, like if something's leaving or something's not showing up or something is coming to an end or something's blowing up in your face, there's a freaking reason for it, and it's for your highest and best. You may not like it, you may not want that to be the circumstances, but it will make sense later on, you know, or it will be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was gonna do that, or I didn't see this, or, you know, when you find out, like a murderer ended up, you know, I dodged a bullet there, you know. And we have awakening with Archangel Gabriel, the messenger of God. So pay attention to the messages that you're receiving, you know, pay attention to synchronicity. Like there's always so much synchronicity around, so much confirmation to show us if we're on the path or not. And sometimes it comes from your ancestors. So this says, ancient wisdom runs in your blood. Spirits breath with your lungs. Oh, spirits breathe with your lungs. Strength conceived from above. So it's like you've got the strength of your ancestors inside of you. You've got their power. You've got their strength. You've got their, you know, their like divine parts of them, but you also have their beliefs and their bullshit that they pass down to you that needs to heal. That could be causing some illusions. That could be causing, you know, some fantasy or just some stuff that's not true. And it could be like, and you want to get that stuff taken care of with the cycles of destruction so that you can get fertile and create something better in its place. So basically, this is like our dreams, our intuition, confusion, lies, esoteric, deep emotions, intuition, oceans, like just having, you know, like psychic skills and being inspired and all of those things. So it's like the stuff that you can't see. It's not tangible, but it's there, and you know it's there. You know it without a doubt. It's like, I know that's there, and but you gotta just trust it sometimes. So sometimes you've got to see from a different perspective without having like a clear black and white thing in front of you, or something that's like, this is the proof, because we don't always have the proof of these things, but we know them. And if we are awakened and listening to them, then we're more aligned with the creation. And then from far away, another time and place where you live among a peaceful race. So a lot of you are starseeds, and you've come here for this purpose. And you had to go through that veil of forgetfulness that makes it a little bit difficult for you to know everything right off the bat. And you have stuff to heal. You've got wounds to go through. You know, your past life pains, the origins that you've got that are connected to your suffering, your obstacles, you're the wounded healer energies, like the trauma, the hurt, the self-sabotage, the sabotage from outside, the learning through adversity, you know. So it's like a new dawn is here, but we also still have to deal with whatever we have been through up until this point. And by doing that work and by shifting that perspective and allowing your ancestors to access and assist you, because they also are going to know like what beliefs they had too. Like they might be the one that comes to you in the astral realm and connects with you and assists you to see, like, this is the belief that I had when I was living in the life that I was living in, that I passed down to you, that's causing you to be, you know, doing whatever you're doing or thinking whatever you're thinking, and you got to let that go because it's not doing you anything good. So talk to your ancestors. Set up like a thing to communicate with them, like a, what do you call it, like an altar, or just light a candle or whatever, or do some journaling, however you want to do it. But ask them, you know, like, what are your messages for me? What do I need to know about our family? What beliefs could be bothering me? And shed your outgrown layers, and know that it's not a straight path from here to where you want to be, for everything. You know, some stuff is clear, cut, dry. Like, you can just have it very quickly, but you have to be open to it in the right frequency to have that happen. And you also have to be self-aware. So, you know, be mindful of like this beginning of how you're showing up in the world. Like, how do you appear to others? How are you appearing to yourself? Put your best foot forward. And then these are basically just things I was going to say. I have this manifesting journal that I made. It's on my Etsy and it's on my website. But there's things in it that you can do. And I know some of you guys have it, and some people didn't use it yet because they were like, maybe they didn't know how exactly they wanted to use it, or, you know what I mean? Like sometimes we get these things and we're like, I have like a law of attraction journal, like planner thing, and luckily it has the type where it's like it's not dated, so I can start using it whenever I want to, technically. And it has like the monthly things that go between the months, like it's like you rip that out and put it in the other spot when you want. But I have that, and I've like still like yet to use it. So yeah. Sometimes we get these things, but we don't use them. So if we're not using them, what's the point of them? And with the thing that I made, it's like it's a PDF, right? So use it and then print another one, or use it like a copy of it and then download another one. That you can put it in your phone, you know, and like just like I would probably like get a notebook, like a regular notebook, and use the one that's in the phone as like my guide. And then use my notebook as like where I actually write stuff down, or print it and, you know, use it, and then whatever, you know, you used, you can print another one. I'm weird with printing because I grew up in a weird situation where my stepdad was like we like get in trouble for printing stuff. Money, like print, it was crazy. So I asked my sister that too recently. I'm like, are you weird about printing stuff? Because I thought, like, I'm like, now I'm an adult, I own a business, like, I should probably be okay with printing stuff, but, like, I still have weirdness about it. Like, I will be, like, omit, like, the pages that I really don't need, when I really don't have to, but I do because of weird shit, like, from my childhood. So that would be a belief that's been kind of, like, in there, trauma. It's not a huge thing, but it impacts me, and it keeps me from doing what I want to do. Like, I want to print this thing out and use it. You know, it's going to be beneficial for me. It's going to help me with learning something. But I, you know, hold back, or I don't get the whole thing, or keep myself separated from it for some reason. And it's because, like, the person that I lived with was crazy. But in this, we have a vision board. So if you've ever done a vision board, basically, you can do it on Pinterest. You can do it on anything, really. Like, there's tons of apps now that you basically can draw or whatever. But you can cut out from a magazine words, or you can cut out pictures, or you could draw, or you can just write into the circles like what it is that you want. But basically, that's it. Like, what is it you're trying to manifest? This is like your vision. This is like your map of that. It's like, all right, I want this house. Like, I want a 3-bedroom house in the city, or I want this in the country, or I want 2 kids. I want a boy and a girl. I want a boat. I want a this. I want a that. Whatever that is that you want, you put in there. You know, maybe you want your sole purpose. You want to, you know, figure that out this year, so you would put that in there. Sometimes you're not going to get like the exact words that you need, so you might need to like cut it up and, you know, get the S over here and the O over there. But basically, you would put all your stuff in there as, you know, that life that you want to be living. Put it somewhere you're going to see it. Don't be like super weird about it and like stare at it all day, every day. But put it somewhere that you'll see it and be reminded of it. And then there's like a daily schedule. So there's, you know, things to help people with their day-to-day stuff. Just like, what are you doing today, you know? And then this is the one day I want to. So in this is, I've always wanted, like, what is something you've always wanted to do? I've always wanted to, whatever it is, and then why I want to, like, come up with why. Like, why do you want to do that? Think about it. Maybe you don't even know why you want to do it. You just want to do it. But, like, think about it. Why? Why do you want to do it? 'Cause there's got to be a reason. And then how I plan to. Because a lot of people want to do these things. They may, you know, not know exactly why they want to. But when they figure out why they want to, that's going to serve the manifestation of bringing it to them, because like now they're clear about why, and it probably like it's like, you know, look for supportive things of like, it's gonna make me feel happy, it's gonna release endorphins in my brain, it's gonna like, you know, give me excitement, it's gonna help me with this, or it's going to help me overcome that, or it's going to prove this thing wrong that I've always, had this false belief about. Whatever it is, clearly state, what those things are, and then how you plan to do it. Because many people have these things that they want to do on their list, but they just assume they're never going to have it, that they can't have it, that they're not good enough for it, that they won't have that ever. So why even know why I want to do it? Why even know why or how I would do it? But when you start to think about those things and you give like a physical, material plan, it's easier for those things to manifest. So come up with that, think about that. How do I plan to do it? Even if you don't think that you maybe could do it right in this moment, put down the plan, because anything's possible. And when we put those plans onto paper and we create something like that, and we write it down, or we get very blah about it, physical type of behaviors connected to it, it starts to do something in the physical. It's it starts to take off. And then visualizing, basically you just visualize. But in here, you would write out or draw images or find images that connect to the visualizations. So it might be easier for you to visualize something if you are reading about it. I want to create this thing, whatever it is, and maybe write it in the I have it, and it smells like this, and it tastes like that, and blah, 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 all the details. What does it look like, taste like, smell like, feel like, to be, whatever it is, right? And each box is connected to something different. So there's the career visualization. So what does it look like, taste like, smell like, feel like, to be my own boss? What would my days be like? What time would I get up? What time would I eat my lunch? What would I eat for my lunch? Would I eat lunch? Would I be too busy doing whatever and never eat again? Get clear with what you're visualizing, and either write it as this is how it's going to be, so that you have that clarity surrounding it, or do pictures of it and take a few moments looking at it, close your eyes and envision it that you're living it, and feel it. What does that feel like? And allow yourself to feel it. So there's health, love, and a couple others. And then what I want worksheet is getting clear on what you want, because that's the thing too. A lot of people don't even know what they want. They're I don't know. I want my twin flame, or I want my divine counterpart, or I want my this, but they don't get I don't know, they don't have a goal in mind, or they don't see how that's going to happen or how that's going to play out. So it's why do you think you're still in separation? If you haven't seen how it's going to play out for the two of you come together, you got to do that, because that's going to add to you coming together. And that's not the only reason why people aren't, but it could be a big part in some people's situations. That would be the main thing holding them back, is that they haven't visualized it or given over that idea that it could happen. And this just came out, 1010, which is shifting timelines, wholeness, and completion. So when you get clear on what you want and you speak it into existence and you believe it, that it can happen, that I can have that, and I feel it, and I maintain it, and I vibrate it, and I ripple that out into the universe, that's going to ripple back at me, and that's going to create it, and it's going to come, and it's going to shift my timeline. So I might be on a timeline right now with a trajectory of maybe I'll see that person in 20 years. But if I start doing these affirmations and I start, visualizing and getting all this stuff going in my brain and in my energies and in my flow, I might speed that 25 years up to tomorrow. Anything's possible. And it can be very quickly, but you've got to be in the right vibration. We also have the gratitude list. So gratitude is a big, powerful way to manifest. And then there's the New Year's goals. So you want to come up with, what do you want to do for this year? Come up with some goals, because this is Galactic New Year. There's some in here that are I want to read a book a month, or I want to get married, or I want to begin a gratitude journal. But then there's a whole list here for other people for the people to fill out of this is what I'm going to accomplish this year. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to commit to whatever. I also have my circle in there, which is something that I've been doing since before my awakening, and it always works. I manifested my ex-partner with the circle, and regretted it very badly when I figured out what I did, because I had the book, The Circle, which tells you about this whole concept, and I made the circle, And I was like, we're happy in our home, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, cut forward, we're together in a home. And we were okay for a little bit, but then things kind of got bad and just got worse and worse and worse and worse. But yeah, it's like you write into the circle, like this is your life, okay? It's kind of like a vision board, but on a smaller scale, and it's just words. You don't have to do pictures and things like that, but you write it as if you already have it. Like, I am living with blank, you know, or I am making X amount of money every X amount of days, or I am this, or I am that. Whatever it is that you're trying to create or want to have goes into the circle as if you've already got it. Again, what does that look like, taste like, smell like, feel like? To have what you want, and put it in the circle and trust that it's coming to you, and try to like own that vibration of those things that go along with the creation of it. And when you hit like a goal, change your circle, and like get rid of this circle, get a new circle. Like when I hit my goal for, you know, 5,000, I brought it up to 10,000. It was like you want to take steps. You don't want to go from, you know, I only make $100 a week to 10,000 a week because that's too big. And you don't know that vibration. You don't know what that feels like, right? You don't have a clue. So you want to start with something like that you can fathom, or that's not so far away that it's like impossible to dream. Because a lot of us don't have a certain frequency, like we don't know it because we just don't have it. We've never had it. So don't set yourself up for failure by being like, I have $1 million. It's because it's a big jump. And then we have the negative and positive. So this is like helping people with their beliefs, like to reprogram the bullshit they tell themselves, like you know, tracking it and being like, okay, like every time I say I can't, like, let's figure out what you're saying, and then let's give you something better in its place to say. There's a status report, which basically is like you just check in at some point to see how things are going. And then there's the 3-month, the 6-month, and the 1 month manifesting timeline. So it's like you tell like what you're gonna have 1 month from then, what you're gonna do or have 3 months from then, you know, and so on and so on. And there's other stuff, like there's like this I ended up printing this one, and it came out wrong, so I didn't send it. Somebody messaged me and they're like, I really want to get your journal, but I don't have a printer. So I was like, all right, I'll send it to you. So I just did that on my own accord for them, but for whatever reason it was like not coming out right. So I only printed out some of the pages, but there are more. And there's like the universal checks, where it's like it looks like a check from the universe where you fill in the amount, and there's 3 of them that come on one paper, so you can use those 3 to do different amounts, you know, like get your first check amount, and when you've got that money, you know, all right, let me write another check from the universe and get that money. And there's a couple, like, I can't remember everything there's this stuff too, I forgot. There's like a self-care check-in sheets, like things that you could be doing to, you know, practice self-care. Like, what are you gonna do today? Is it gonna be that I'm gonna have, you know, my mood tracker or a gratitude list? Am I gonna go to bed, you know, early tonight, or am I gonna take a nap? Am I gonna have time with my family, or am I gonna have time with my friends? You know, am I gonna do some scented candles, or am I gonna do some essential oils? Like, you know, just deciding like which is which for the day, or which is which for the week, however you want to set it up for yourself. And then the other one is like, you know, just other things that you can do. Like it says, tick off the boxes of the activities that you do to take care of yourself. And if you're not doing any of these things, you want to start getting into that and, you know, finding time to do it. And then there's the abundance tracker. So it's like a monthly tracker for your abundance. There's a weekly schedule. Like this is one of the ones that, like, you know, if you print this one, print it again. Like when any document that you have, if you don't want to print all of them, you just find out what page this is within the document and print it again and again. And like this one is for the month, so you would want to, you know, do it monthly. Or like I said, kind of like just use this as your guide and put it on paper or put it somewhere else. But it's up to everybody how they want to do that stuff. And there's also the tarot one that I have, And the tarot one, it would be good for like what we were talking about with like shadow work. But it's not just tarot. If you have an oracle deck, that one works. And it's like different prompts. It's different things that will help you to heal and to grow, and to change your dynamic. I have some of it here, but not all of it. Basically, it was somebody got I don't remember. Oh, I think I was just checking it when I was making it to see if it was gonna print right. Because you never know when you're making stuff, when you're designing things. This is a big one. This is 88 pages. This one is like 25, but again, it's 25 for the template, but you can print it, you know, probably 100. This is a 30-day thing, and it's 88 pages, and we do belief work, shadow work, inner child work, past life exploration, journaling prompts, you know, stuff to help with the things that we need to work on that will help us to overcome stuff. So basically, it's manifesting a new life through action and attraction. And every day, you just do that day. You don't have to be like, oh, I gotta do this big, huge, long, drawn-out craziness. Just one thing a day. And I had really good feedback on Etsy. There was somebody that was like, I'm only on day whatever, and it's like, my life's changed, or this is the exact thing I've been missing in my life, or like, I don't have the money to go to counseling, but this is like really helping me with blah, blah, blah. So it did help people. And I have the twin flame one coming too. Like, all I gotta do is this chakra part of that, and then that's coming, which is specifically for twin flames who want to reach union. There's, you know, tons of things in there for people to do to help them to get there. But the beginning part is like, there's like 4 pages where it's like just me explaining the journal. And then each day has like, you know, do this, fill out here. And then if the day, you know, has cards, you know, there's a spot for the card, the name of the card, what the card means, like what you take away from the card. So you can do tarot. Sometimes it will say like, pick a major arcana, like, you know, find a deck if you have tarot, and you pull out all the major arcana, and then from that, you know, maybe spread it out. Which one is it that's going to represent what that is for you that day? And then even on those, if it's like you don't know how to do tarot, you would just do that. Like, you would just take your oracle deck, same thing, and just spread it out. Because no matter what you, like, as long as it's like a tarot, oracle that has like a word or a keyword or something, it's not just like going to be like a picture of nothing. You know, get something that may be like, you know, is going to help. Like, it has like keywords on it of like belief or shadow or whatever, like just stuff that you know you might need to work on. And it will help you to do that. And it you know, use your intuition, but I feel like either way, it's fine. And then it says, you know, something in there each day as to what you're doing. So like this one is like self-acceptance. A lot of people struggle with that. And basically I asked people to list off 5 things that they dislike about themselves, and be honest, because like nobody else is going to see this except for you. So just be honest. What are the things that you don't like about yourself? Whatever comes to mind, bump, 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 bump. And then down below, it says, pull a tarot or an oracle deck out, shuffle it as best as you can, fan if you can't shuffle, and then get a card to see, what do I need to accept about me? But you're going to end up with 3 cards for that. So it's like 3 cards for what do I need to accept about me. So look, we got passion, right? So you might get the passion card, or you might get the highest potential card. And then if you're doing this, we get the Knight of Wands card, right? So the Knight of Wands, he's kind of passionate, right? But he doesn't always have the ability to go to his highest potential. He kind of in and out, right? He's like, keeps going. It's like, oh, wait, where'd you go? Like that, no. So somebody may not be living up to their highest potential, because they're just too passionate or just too willy-nilly. They're not giving all of their attention to what they should be giving it to. You know, they may have too many things. You know, there may be too many passions distracting them. So it could be like, you know what? Like, what do you need to do, like, to kind of ground that energy? Like, what are you truly passionate about? What is it that you would, you know, do every day for the rest of your life? If that was like, you know, it, like, you can't do anything else except for this for the rest of your life, what is it that you would choose to do? Because that's the thing that you should probably be doing, is like something like that. That's going to be like, oh, like I could see myself dealing with that much better than anything else. And, you know, again, everybody's going to be different with these things. So it's like just kind of using the intuition, but you put down the name of the card, the meaning of the card, and then the message that you got from the card. So if I know that this is here to say, what do I need to accept about me? And I get passion, you know, it's like, oh, like, you've got to accept your passion, or accept the fact that maybe you are willy freaky nilly and you're not able to, like for me, I can't choose one thing. I got the Bridget channel, the Divine Essentials channel, I got the candles, I got the oils, I've got the crystals, I've got the this and the that and the books and everything. And I have a lot of passion, I have a lot of stuff, I have a lot of focuses or things that I like to do. And, you know, sometimes I like beat myself up about that, or I feel like I gotta niche down. Because if you run a business and you see anything to do with marketing and you know, getting people to want to connect with you, or growing your stuff, they're like, you gotta niche down, you gotta pick your niche, you gotta niche down. And it's like, I don't want to niche down, because I don't want to limit into that. It's not that I only like want, because if I was doing it for the purposes of like just money, I would niche down and I would only focus on that thing and I would go full force hardcore into it because it would blow up. But I don't want that. I want to explore what I want to explore. So I have struggled with that because of how society is about it. You gotta niche down. So it's like, oh. But if I have this card come out, it's like, I need to accept this about myself, that, hey, I'm passion driven, but I'm creative, and I have fun, and I inspire other people, and other people enjoy it. And I wouldn't get to my highest potential if I only niched down into one area. My highest potential is to keep going and expanding and connecting with all of the things that I do, and to continue to inspire other people to not limit themselves, and to show them that, hey, you don't have to niche down either. Do what you fucking want to do. It's your life. It's how you want to live. But, you know, on the flip side, if it was like, say 3 things that I need to change about myself, it may be like, oh, you might want to get a little bit less of that, like, and you know, commit to something, or figure out what it is that you really want to do. Or, you know, how are you showing up for people? Maybe you need to have more loyalty, or maybe you need to, like, calm down a little bit because you're gonna, you know, hurt yourself or hurt somebody. Or maybe you already hurt somebody by being how you were, you know, or like, why aren't you speaking your truth? So basically, it's all intuitive. It's very easy to use. And the thing about it too is, like, you use it once, right? You do today's exercise, you can do it again and again and again, because you're going to get different cards each time. And each time you do the exercises, you're going deeper into them. So you're figuring out more about yourself, figuring out more about what you need to do, or learn, or grow, or shift, or heal, and all of that. So that's what this one's all about. And then, like, making positive progress is in here for affirmations, gratitude, all of the things that help us to align with abundance and transformation. So really, like, if you want to start, you know, creating your reality, you want to start affirming into being, you know, those things, both of those are available, and they're both under $11. I know that. So not crazy expensive, and they are there. So thank you guys. I'm gonna go put this up, and I'm gonna have the thing be separate so that it's not like a big long video talking. But yeah, I will be back with a little activation. In Renee, namaste.